The Treasurer has asked the states to provide a list of infrastructure projects that could be brought forward. Live now to political reporter Trudy McIntosh. Trudy, Josh Frydenberg has raised concerns about the lack of construction actually available to get these projects off the ground.
That's right, Tom. The Treasurer coming out of this meeting with his state and territory counterparts, on one hand asking them to bring forward a series of infrastructure projects that could be shovel-ready, something that he could help bring forward the funding for. But on the other hand, he's also raised constraints in the system, concerned in particular about the lack of available construction to get these kind of things off the ground to start with. He's asking the states to respond to this letter from the Prime Minister. Only Queensland has responded so far. He was the Treasurer.
If you bring some of the spending forward, can you also bring the construction timetable forward? And we are so we are hitting some of those capacity constraints, and they're across machinery, they're across inputs, they're across also skills. So we're prepared to consider on a case-by-case basis states putting forward projects that can be brought forward.
The other big thing to come out of this meeting today is the states and territories have agreed to a national population framework. Now, this hasn't been completely finalised and the details have not been released publicly. It needs to go to COAG before being ticked off. But in essence, what it is a greater collaboration on data sharing, in particular between the states and the federal government. The Population Minister today also asked about if he had a number in mind for Australia's population going forward, particularly by 2030, if that's something that the government would consider looking at.
It'll be based on what our policy settings are, and then we want to track ourselves against those forecasts so that the councils and the state governments who have the primary responsibility for the infrastructure and housing approvals can have greater surety as well that, OK, this is what the population is much more likely to be coming, and we can plan accordingly.
Yeah, so more initially about getting the estimate accurate, but down the track did say that they want to, hit the targets they have as well. Trudy, meanwhile, Labor has raised concerns that the Treasurer blocked the RBA from speaking about climate change at the meeting today. That's
right. This is what we've heard from the Shadow Treasurer, Jim Chalmers. He's concerned about the Josh Frydenberg blocking the Deputy Reserve Bank Governor from speaking at this meeting today. It was a call and a proposal by the Queensland Treasurer, Jackie Trad. She wanted to see the RBA address this meeting about the effects that climate change could have on the economy. The Treasurer today revealing that this is not the right forum for that kind of discussion. He didn't want to see this raised and blocked it from happening. The Shadow Treasurer, Jim Chalmers, says that's very concerning.
Climate change is an economic challenge. It's already costing the Australian economy billions of dollars. The Morrison government is in denial about that, but in Labor we believe in doing something real and meaningful about climate change. The exact form of that and the nature of that and specific detail of that is something that we have almost 3 years to come up with.
Now, Tom, the Shadow Treasurer also raised his concerns about infrastructure spending. He would like to see this pipeline brought forward and says that the Treasurer has been doing too much buck passing here and trying to shift the blame onto the states when he needs to take responsibility.